We're talking to Aaron, our financial buddy at Fagan Associates. You know, you have your 401k and you put money in there. Then what? Aaron, maybe you could tell us a little bit about options and retirement plans.
The growing trend with companies is basically like a defined contribution plan. You know, in the 70s and 80s, there was a lot of these defined benefit plans. So, you know, you work for Ford for, 20, 30 years, you retire, you get $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. And, we have a lot of state workers that have that, but, private companies are going more towards, the defined contribution where, they'll match up to 6% of whatever you'll save. And that's good and all, but, you have to make sure that, you have your money allocated correctly so that it does grow over time.
All right, so how do you suggest allocating that? I mean, it's like you said, it's one thing putting the money in there, but if you have it in the wrong places, I guess it doesn't help so much.
Yeah, exactly. And I was reading an article that 75% of people never change their asset allocation, so that could really come back to kind of, really affect you later in life. But when you're starting out at a new job, or when you're just starting out working in the workforce, you want most of your money in the stock market, 90 to 100% in it, and as you go through. Your financial life, and you go from your 30s to 40s to 50s. You kind of take down the stock market side. So let's say you have 90 to 100% in the stock market in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Then you bring it down to like 60 or 70%. When you're nearing retirement. When you kind of saved up that next egg, and you don't need as much of the stock market gains, and it's more about like preserving your capital and preserving your retirement, as opposed to making it grow.
Do you see that number being a little bit higher right now? Because for bonds, the interest rates are so low that you might be actually losing some money there?
That's a great point, Randy, really. And we talked about that, me and my father were talking about that at work yesterday. And, that has been the case. It's in the 80s and even in the early 90s, you could get, 4 or 5% on your bonds. Now, with interest rates, 10-year Treasury below 1%, if you're investing in fixed income, you have to make sure you're not if you're getting 3 or 4%, you got to make sure that they're not in risky, fixed income assets in bonds. Because, it's easy to think of, the stock market as being risky, but the bond market can be risky too, if you kind of go out on like the credit spectrum.
Well, yeah, if if the interest rates are only like 1% or whatever, and the the inflation rate's 2%, you're actually losing a little bit of money there. So it's a weird time.
It is a weird time. I would much rather have maybe a little bit more money in the stock market, but you can buy great companies like a Johnson and Johnson, or a Pfizer that pays a 3 or 4% dividend. And, it is a little bit more risky because it is a stock, but, the dividends that they pay are 2-3 times what the interest rates are. So that's a way you can kind of, have some, put some more money in the stock market than you normally would for your age or whatever age you're at, but you can still, but have them in more conservative holdings.
Yeah, so something a little more solid versus maybe a tech stock.
Verizon. Stuff like that. Utilities, things that have a decent dividend.
Aaron, how can they get more information from you guys if they have additional questions, or someone wants to get your guys' help? What kind of things do you guys offer, and where do they reach you?
Yeah, you can reach us at 518-279-1044 or investment at FaganAssociates.com. We can help anyone out with any retirement questions that they have. If they want us to look over their retirement portfolio at their current employer, we can do that too, and we can just give our objective advice.
Sounds great. I appreciate that. I'm also going to put this up. I saw this. It was kind of interesting. 10 things you'll spend more on in retirement, like travel. I thought this was interesting. Utilities. I think we're kind of seeing that now with a lot more people spending time at home. So you're there more often, so you got to keep the place heated and cooled. So we'll put all that stuff and Aaron's contact info there at 995theriver.com on the River Morning Show blog. All right. Well, Aaron from Fagan Associates, thank you. Appreciate your input on this stuff, and we'll talk to you next week.
Great. Thanks a lot, Randy.